live, up and down the coast, from the beaches to the valleys. At 11, this is KEYT News Channel 3, where the news comes first.
Good evening, everybody. I'm C.J. Ward. An explosion rocked an elementary school in Thousand Oaks tonight. It happened just after 7:30 at Madrona Elementary School near Lynn Road. One person has died from his injuries. His name is not being released. A child suffered minor injuries. It happened when a hobby rocket filled with propane exploded on the basketball courts. Fire officials say the victims were making rockets when the blast occurred. We are now being told that they do not attend the school there. The Acorn newspaper is reporting the person who died is a senior at Thousand Oaks High School. Also tonight, an Amber Alert is in effect right now for Ventura County. 18-month-old Aiden Avalos was abducted by her father from Los Angeles. Luis Avalos is 21 years old. He has tattoos around his neck and left cheek. He is considered a gang member with violent crime convictions. He was last seen driving a 2006 silver four-door Chevrolet Impala with California license plate 7LPF 713. Governor Jerry Brown signed into law today a bill that raises California's minimum wage to $15 an hour. California and New York are the first states to make that move. The minimum wage will slowly go up over the next 6 years from its current $10 an hour. It begins with a 50-cent per hour increase in January and will reach $15 an hour by the year 2022. Now, many union and labor groups have been fighting for this for a long time, but critics say the new law will force small businesses to lay off workers.
Before, you could have 3 employees at $30 an hour, and by 2022, you're only going to be able to have 2 employees at that same salary rate. And so unless you can compensate with increased prices to the public or something of that nature, somebody's not going to get a job.
Supporters say the new law will help more than 6 million people in the state earn a living wage. Assal Ranch in the San Ynez Valley is shut down tonight, the result of norovirus and an outbreak there. Several guests became sick with a gastrointestinal illness last week. Santa Barbara County health officials confirm it is norovirus and that it was being spread person to person, not foodborne. No one has been hospitalized. The entire facility closed yesterday and will stay closed for 72 hours to be sanitized. Well, for the first time since last June, Californians missed the mark. State officials are urging residents to refocus their water-saving goals as we head into another year of drought. News Channel 3's Tracy Laird joins us live from Santa Barbara. And Tracy, we just have not had the rain that we need this season.
We haven't, CJ. Even though you can see mustard grass is in full bloom up and down the coast, that doesn't mean we're out of this drought. And state officials plan to hold workshops this month to reconsider tougher conservation rules. California already seems to have mayflowers if you include wild mustard plants. But what about April showers?
A little bit of rain will bring those out.
Just a bit of rain may have restored old water use habits. California missed its 25% water conservation mandate by 1% in February. But local water districts say they have done better than the state as a whole.
The district's customers have gone the extra mile to achieve the conservation standard of 32% and have done a great job in reducing outdoor irrigation and doing all they can to achieve the conservation standard.
But since reservoir and lake levels are extremely low, every drop counts.
I take very short showers. I make sure that when I'm brushing my teeth, the water's not running, or when you're washing your hands, you lather up and all that. So I think most of us have gotten very conscious about trying to save water. And as we go through the cycle, the summer, and the hot weather, we better be reminded that we can't take anything for granted. Water is a critical situation. It really is.
If state water officers make water conservation mandate revisions this month, they will take effect in June. And when or if we do get April showers, water districts say you shouldn't be watering your lawn for at least 48 hours after a rain. In Santa Barbara, Tracy Laird, News Channel 3.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Sad news tonight about a young giraffe born at the Santa Barbara Zoo. Asha, a 1-year-old Maasai giraffe, was recently transferred to the Toledo Zoo. She was part of a species survival program. Now, Asha fell and broke a leg so badly surgeons could not repair it, and she had to be euthanized. Visitors at the Santa Barbara Zoo today remember Asha.
It's really sad to hear that it can happen, they spook and then they fall, but it's still sad. I mean, I saw her when she was first put out, and she was just so small.
And the Toledo Zoo was hoping that Asha would breed there. And now a crazy story involving a single mom, a new BMW, and a confused Beverly Hills valet. As News Channel 3's Elise Martinez reports, the Santa Barbara woman has no car now because the valet gave it to somebody else.
This was Holly Schneider, all smiles at the beginning of her Saturday night at Mastro's Steakhouse in Beverly Hills. After dinner, Schneider went to the valet to get her new BMW.
I'm standing at valet for about a half hour and they pull up with a car and it looks like mine, so I go to get in and I'm like, wait a second, it's got tan interior. Mine has black.
15 minutes later, the valet pulled up with another BMW. Not hers either.
Finally, somebody walks over and says, ma'am, I apologize, but I think we gave your car to somebody else. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, we'll call the police.
Police didn't have good news about the car or the driver.
They find him on the side of the road of the 405 in Sunset, and it's smashed. I was just in tears. I literally was just in tears. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
Schneider is out of a lot of cash.
It's $200 in the hotel. It's $500 in the rent-a-car. It's my job that I didn't get to go to, the lost wages on that.
And a smashed up car that still needs to be fixed and brought back to Santa Barbara. But after all this, Schneider doesn't have many hard feelings.
Eventually I'll get the car. Nobody was hurt. Thank God nobody was hurt.
Elise Martinez, News Channel 3.
An ongoing labor shortage in the Central Coast in the agriculture business is being felt beyond the fields there. News Channel 3's Keith Carls joins us live from Santa Maria with that story tonight. Keith.
Hi, CJ. Local growers I spoke to today say the lack of a comprehensive federal immigration reform policy has left them no other option but to take advantage of the current H-2A immigration program, which requires housing for guest workers as field workers.
We've had threats on the buildings, the homes. We've had threats on our families.
Local grower Greg France is behind the Mads Farm housing complex on a cul-de-sac along South Oakland Avenue in Nipomo.
Labor in this valley has become very, very short. It's been very difficult for us to be able to harvest our crop with just the local labor. Actually, it's been impossible to harvest our crop with the local labor.
France says he met with San Luis Obispo County Supervisor Lynn Compton and other county officials before they gave their blessing for the Mads Farm project. Employer-paid housing and transportation is part of the H-2A program.
We are a family farm. We began in 2004. We've been trying to do what's right all along. Unfortunately, we've been put into a position that we require H-2A and we require to house them.
I just don't see how they could put 16 people in one house for a total of about 112 people.
Bill Lynch is among Oakland Avenue homeowners concerned about the impact of the Farmworker Housing project on their neighborhood and their home prices.
And what are they going to do about water and garbage and vehicles, and what are they going to do on their day offs having 116 people in that little cul-de-sac?
We are very concerned about those people who've complained who are in the neighborhood, and we will be addressing their concerns and we will be speaking to them.
And Greg France is very clear that if local agriculture, Central Coast agriculture, cannot get the labor that it needs to keep up with production, that production will move overseas. It's also important to point out that H-2A housing projects have popped up all along the Central Coast, and more are on the way. Live in Santa Maria, Keith Carls, News Channel 3.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Much more news still ahead on News Channel 3 at 11. The whale migration along our coast is in full swing tonight. Hundreds of whales are swimming by right now, very close to shore. Coming up, find out what is right behind them.
And CJ, back on land, we are warming up near 80 today in Santa Barbara, and tomorrow We'll see highs well into the 80s in many areas. Stay tuned. I'll have my full forecast when we come back.
Live, CJ Ward, Chief Meteorologist Alan Rose, and Mike Clan Sports. This is KEYT News Channel 3, where the news comes first.